Hi, and welcome back. This is White Armor Consulting, and today I'm going to show you a tutorial on how to use LastPass Password Management Service. We will download and install LastPass for Firefox, but this tutorial will work for Chrome, Edge, Safari, and Opera. We will go through all the options to show you how to use it and make your life easier. Let's begin. So in the search bar, just type in LastPass. From there, you're going to look for www.lastpass.com. and make sure it's over HTTPS. Click that link. From here, if you see this site, you're on the right. First step. We're going to look at the pricing first. So there is a free version up to 1 user. Then if you want to pay for the premium service, it's $4 a month, and then there's a family service which gives you up to 6 individual users for $5.28 a month. And there's a chart below that shows you the differences between the premium and the paid services. For now, we're going to use the free. So if you scroll all the way to the bottom, you're going to see download. Click that link. From here, they have a few different options. So LastPass Universal Windows Installer. If you have multiple browsers, you can download this. If you're going to use just Firefox, you can download this, and then Chrome, Edge, Internet Explorer, Opera, and then a few other programs that LastPass has to offer. For now, we're just going to click download for Firefox, allow, and you're going to have to accept the terms. So it has to be able to read your browsing history and your browsing traffic to be able to save usernames and passwords. Go ahead and click add and click OK. So once that's done, you can go ahead and close these tabs. You don't need them anymore. And from here, what you're going to do is you're going to see a new icon on the top right hand side. Click that, and you're going to create an account. You'll put in your password, your email address, and then when you go to create an account, it will then give you the steps to put in a master password. Now the master password is used to encrypt the database that you're going to be creating of all the websites that you use. This master password is the only one you have to remember, and LastPass will remember all the individual passwords, or it'll also help you create those passwords for each social site or email site or forum, etc. You can pretty much save whatever you want in LastPass and only need that master password to sign in. So I already have an account, so I'm just going to sign in. Info. Right. Enter, and then when you see the icon go red, that means you're now logged into LastPass. So as you can see here, it gives you a few starting points. I just want to scroll down and show you. If you're worried about security with LastPass, they use AES 256-bit encryption for the database that's stored in the cloud. The encryption and decryption of that database happens locally on your PC. It does not happen in the cloud. They do not know what your master password is, and they do not have the key to decrypt that database. As you can see here, LastPass will never be able to access your LastPass database, which has all of your usernames and passwords. But we're also going to turn on two-factor authentication to add a little bit more security to our database as well. I'll put a link in the description. I also created a video called KeyPass. If you don't want to have the database saved in the cloud, you want it saved wherever you want, like a USB or a NAS solution, or locally on your computer, KeyPass is another way you can go. So, and also just to mention, we're going to do this installation on Windows 10 in the browser of Firefox. You can install this on a device, iOS, Android, and Windows phones, and you can have the same access from your device to your PC or anywhere you go in the world. I'm going to show you the different options and what LastPass has to offer. So we'll just close that. And to begin, I'm first just going to open up, let's say, Gmail. And I created an account that we can use just to show you. So if this works correctly, now I've used it a couple times, so it might not pop up, but I'll show you anyways. When I go to log into this Gmail account, if all goes well, LastPass will pop up just like that, and you'll see it trying to add to LastPass. So you can edit if you want to change any details. Now the folder system, LastPass creates that automatically for you. It knows that Gmail is part of email folder and it'll add it to that folder. When you log into Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, it'll put it into different folders for you automatically. So I'm just going to go ahead and add it. Now LastPass has saved this URL with that username that I used and the special password that I used. The master password has yet to be used yet. We will go, when we're going forward, you'll see where we have to use it. So now if I log out of Gmail, you'll notice the password is there automatically. You'll also notice there's a LastPass icon beside the password box. I'm gonna go ahead and close this completely just to show you what it looks like. When I go back to Gmail, it's automatically there for me. If I even remove the account and I close Gmail, and let's say I go back to it, fresh new start, nothing's there, but you'll see LastPass knows that I've been here before. So I can go ahead and I can click this. It'll put the username, I can hit next, and then it'll auto fill the password for me. If you click this on the password field, it should bring up an option that you can say fill. If you want to have this not autofill, you can click, it'll add the password, or you can edit. You'll then be entered into the LastPass module where you can edit this entry. So here's the URL that it's using to log in. If you know that you want to use a better URL, you can change it there. You can change the name. The email folder, you kind of have to leave it what it is. I think you do get a way to change it later, but for now just leave it as email because it is email. Add any notes that you might want. You can add anything you like. Here's the username if you want to change it, and then the password, you can click this icon to show it. You can also click this icon to show password histories on the account, and then I believe this is the same way, show username and history. There are some there's also show note history as well. So if you have notes, you can delete them, you want to see what they were, you can click that and it'll show up here. There's advanced settings for this entry. You can require a password reprompt every time. You can have it auto login, and you can also disable autofill. Then at the bottom, you can say this is a favorite, I want to share it with somebody, I want to delete this entry, or I want to edit the form fields. But for now, I'm just going to leave it. I'm going to cancel. So now, because they've already put the password in for me, I can just click next. I log into my email and I'm done. So I'm going to go ahead and add one more entry. So let's say I go to Reddit. From here, I'm just going to log in. Now you'll see that LastPass has these icons. Now, if I want to sign up to Reddit, I can go ahead and put in the entries. I can choose the username. Okay, I will put in, let's see here. All right, there we go. And then for password, now you notice how it's asking me to put in a password. If I want, I can use LastPass to generate a secure password for me. And click that. I can say I want it to be, strong. I'll say 40 or 39 characters. I want it to be all these different symbols and uppercase, lowercase numbers. I want it to be all characters. Then I can say, fill password. And boom. So that'll be my password for the new account that I created for Reddit. It already automatically notices that, and then I can add it. And now I have two accounts. I'm not going to finish this just to show you how it works. So now if I go to LastPass itself, we're going to look at the options of LastPass. So there's Open My Vault, All Items, which is whether you have passwords. So here's social, which is Reddit, emails. This is where you can change the passwords if you like. You have your notes, you can add addresses, payment cards, bank account information, and then LastPass will help you autofill certain things. If you log into your bank site, it'll say the username and password for you. You can add items individually, so add an item. So if you don't want to do it from the website itself, you can just go into add an item, and it has many different options in here that you can pick. I don't advise doing the social security number. Keep that in your memory. Never put it in LastPass. Go back, and then there's generate password, which we already went through. There's recently used. Nothing's available right now. And then there's account options. So what I'm going to do is, before going to account options, I'm just going to show you open my vault. From here, you're going to notice there's Google. I can launch. You can change the views, the lists. There's Reddit. You can see that when the last time I've used it, I can edit, share, delete. If I want to check mark and do actions, there I have other options as well. Copy the username, copy the password, URL, move to a different folder. So it does give me the option. From here, these options here are the same as if you click the icon on the top right hand side. So add item, click that, passwords, secure notes, addresses, payment cards, bank accounts. We don't need to go through these. Now, what I'm going to do is at the bottom, you can have a sharing center. This shows you who you're sharing it with. So you can always click this. Oh, so this is only available for premium or higher. So I won't be able to show you all these features, but if you do have that feature enabled, family profile or premium, you'll be able to share it with other users of LastPass. You put in the email address and then you send them a link. Emergency access. Now this is only available for premium or higher. So you can add other LastPass users as an emergency contact, but I'm going to show you another method. And then there's account settings. So account settings has everything you would think of for account options. Change the master password, revert the password change. So if somebody does hack your LastPass, you can always revert the password. You can send test emails. You can view the master password reminder. So this is basically the reminder of what your master password is. Scroll down, there's the type. So I'm just doing a trial right now, which is basically, it'll be free going forward, but I have premium as a trial if I activate it. Time zones, that's all normal. The links, so email subscriptions is how LastPass is going to contact you. So from here, this is where you're going to unsubscribe from the following products for your email notifications. My advice is to make sure you uncheck sharing notifications, master password changed, LastPass Sentry. So these are important. Make sure that this is unchecked. Please unsubscribe me from all promotional emails. I mean, if you don't want to get any of this, then you can just check mark that. But again, my advice is to at least make sure this is unchecked for master password changed. I also would like to know if site usernames are changed and site passwords are changed. So I would uncheck all those and maybe check those two on because we don't have access to those features, and then hit update. And then from there, we'll just go back and then go back to options. There's payment history if you did buy LastPass, and then there's my account. That just brings you to the website where you can see this information, existing user, if you had any gift codes, payment histories, support tickets, you can upgrade to premium, referral programs. So if you refer your friends and families, you can make some money on that, or basically up your memberships with LastPass. We can scroll down. Now here's the option where if you don't have premium, you just have the free version, you can do recovery phone. So just update phone, and then you add your number. So here's where it always asks you for your master password before you make any changes to the account, which is great. And then you add in your phone number, whatever that might be. You send a test code, and now that phone can be used for account recovery. It's a great feature. I'd advise to use it. We're going to go to advanced settings. Here's alerts. So password alerts. My advice, do not disable password alerts. What we want is we want to be able to turn these on as we see fit. My advice is to play with this before turning them on. Make sure you set them to your personal preference. Leave access and identity always on. That way it requires your master password whenever you're accessing different sections of your profile. Security email, my advice, put in a second email, send a test. This will be saved as well for account security. If someone tampers with the account, you'll get an email sent to this email as well. It can also be used for account recovery. Country restriction, my advice, if you know you're never going to use your LastPass outside of Canada or the US or the country from where you're from, select that country and turn off everything else and hit update. Then you'll put in your master password to save. Now, I'm not going to save this because I'm not from Afghanistan and it'll block me. But if I put Canada and hit update, confirm. Now it'll go back to this window. I go back to more options, account settings. And then I go to show advanced. And now only allow login from selected countries is there. Canada. Tor networks, disallow from Tor networks. Now, if you're using Tor networks to hide yourself, uncheck, update. Master password reverting. If your account does get compromised or you feel like someone's changed your password, you can come in here. This allows you to revert the master password back to a previous password, just in case that issue happens to you. Disable email verification. Always keep this unchecked. We always want email verification of unknown devices and locations. Disable multi-factor trust expiration. So I would say keep this unchecked. We don't want that on. We want to be able to we don't want to disable multi-factor trust expiration. And then auto log off other devices. So I would advise turning this on, but do not log off other devices originating from the same IP. Now you can turn this on if it's only from your home PC that you're ever going to access, but if you do get compromised, this can bite you in the butt. But always turn this one on. So that way any other devices, whether it's, especially if it's not yours, they log off automatically. Don't touch this. Website auto log off, I would say do it the shortest period possible. Don't leave it in the days. That way, if you log into your LastPass website, it will log off in the next 5 minutes, or 30, or 1 hour. Bookmarklet auto log off. Now, if you don't know what this is, you can always hit these eyes along the right-hand side, click those, and it'll tell you automatic logout timeout for the LastPass bookmarklets. Timeout is based on last login or last bookmark usage. So they recommend 2 weeks. My advice, I would shorten it, but if you put 2 weeks, it's fine as well. Privacy, track history, always keep it on. Help improve LastPass. Now you can personal preference. They won't have anything greater than the database they already have, but they can access it. Always remember that. I would say help them out, but if you don't want to, uncheck. These are 2 buttons that you can use to help yourself. So if you want to destroy sessions, who's logged into your LastPass, you'll be able to check here and then destroy those sessions. And you can remove duplicates. You don't really need to know what this does, but you can always hit the eye, take a look at what it is. So removes identical duplicate entries stored in your LastPass vault. So if you ever want to do a cleanup, you can come here and hit this button, and that's under advanced settings. Then we have multi-factor options. So from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the multi-factor authentication that you can use for LastPass. So we have LastPass Authenticator, where you download an app that generates a code, Google Authenticator. My advice is to use either of these, any of these. Turn it on by hitting the crayon, and then enabled, permit offline access, say disallow, and then update. And what's going to happen is it's going to generate a key. You're going to add your authenticator to LastPass, and now you need your master password plus the token code to do anything with your LastPass, which gives you much greater security. And they've got a list of vendors that they can use. Google Authenticator is free. You can download it from the App Store for your Android or iOS, and LastPass Authenticator, I believe, is free as well. I'd say, as well as Microsoft Authenticator. Trusted devices. When you start logging in, you'll start noticing trusted devices, your Androids, your iOS, your iPads. Then you can take a look, make sure that they're what they're supposed to be. Mobile devices, exactly what it's saying. You have to enable this, and then once it's enabled, you can start adding your mobile devices. They'll start showing up in the list, and only those mobile devices will ever be allowed to access your LastPass. Never URLs. So if you don't want LastPass to work on certain URLs, what this does is it allows you to select a type, what do you want to do specifically, never fill forms, never generate passwords, never add site. You can click the different options, and then you can add your favorite sites in there that you don't want LastPass to save the password for. So let's say it's your banking sites. You add them in, and now it'll never add site to LastPass. That's for this list. Equivalent domains. So all this is if you have the same usernames and passwords for multiple domains, which a lot of people don't recommend, but if you do, for ease of use, you can come in here and you can add your favorite websites that have the same usernames and passwords, like YouTube and Google and Gmail are usually the same. So you want to make sure that you tell LastPass what are equivalent. So in here, you would just hit the plus, you would add another domain if it's part of the YouTube and Google groups. You can add anything you want in these lists. They're not only for the Google company. You can add whatever you like. So if you have Yahoo in here, you can just drop it in like that, hit add, and it'll save it. And then URL rules. My advice, you don't really have to touch this, but basically when you're logging into a website, LastPass shows all login entries having a similar URL. If you want to see fewer entries, you can set a URL rule to limit which logins are shown. So that little icon, when you're logging in, it'll show fewer entries for this. There you go. So once this starts getting filled out, you'll see less entries if you use URL rules. So you can say for reddit.net, I don't want to see, I don't want to see all the entries that I have in my entire LastPass. I just want to see Reddit. And we'll close that. And the next option we're going to go to is more options. From here, this is pretty self-explanatory. You go to advanced. Now you can import other key databases or password management databases. You go to import, please select, and then there's a list of different password services. So KeePass is in there. It gives you a little blurb of how to get KeePass into LastPass, and then you upload and all your usernames and passwords are in there. If you want to export, more options. You can export KeePass, put in your master password, select right here the timing, and then it won't prompt you for 15 minutes. Then you hit continue, and you'll be able to export your LastPass database in, so you can import it into, let's say, KeePass or another password management service. From here, you can delete items. So as you can see here, I've saved google.com. I want to delete actions. I can restore it, or I can purge it completely. So even if you delete entries by accident, you can just go into more options, deleted items, and then restore. This option here is just your welcome to your vault. Show me around later. I'm just going to say never because I'm showing you around. Up here you can see purge all. So if you want to clean the, let's say, it looks like basically the recycle bin, you can purge it all immediately, or it'll be deleted 30 days after it's been added to this list. Then you have collapse all, show compact view. This is just a different view for you. And then you can sort. Go back to more options. Then we have history. So this is the history of who's been logging in and to what site. Now you can clear the history. You can check different events on different dates. And then here, I'll put that, you can submit. Now if you clear history, it's going to send that to the email associated with your account. And then in that email, you have to click the link to clear the history, because from here they will not allow it. This way you can verify who's logging in to where if you feel suspicious. And Credit monitoring. This is another service that they offer. I'm not going to go into it. Bookmarklets. As you can see here, this is what bookmarklets is. So a bookmark is a special favorite or bookmark that executes code on a page you're on. So when you save pages to your favorite list, it becomes a bookmarklet, and then it'll autofill, auto login. It'll basically do things automatically for you. You can read through this to figure out how it works. I'm not going to go through it into this tutorial. One-time passwords. So this, you can set this up to use one-time passwords to basically log into everything. I'm not going to go into this as well. This is another service. And open all favorites. Because I don't have any, nothing's going to happen. And manage identities. Now obviously I only have one right now, so I could create others if I buy the other services. This is the only identity you have because you have the free version. And then you can generate a secure password, which is under more options, just for your own, if you need it to add to another website. You don't want it through LastPass, you can use this to help you generate passwords and then help. So the one last thing I want to show you is called the Security Challenge. Now this is a nice little feature that LastPass provides to help you sort out all of your domains and passwords and actually tell you if they're strong, weak, if they've been used in a hack or an exploit. So what I would say is once you've added all of your emails and social sites, go ahead and click Security Challenge. And then what you're going to want to do, oh, this one's already saying show my score. Put in your master password. And this is what it's going to look like. So when you run the when you run the security challenge, you're going to get a result window that looks like this, and it's going to tell you your security score, your last pass standing, and then your master password score. How well, how strong is it? And then you can go through these different sections. If you have any sites, so change compromised passwords, it'll tell you which ones to change, weak passwords, which ones to change, reused passwords, change old passwords. So it's gonna help you change the different passwords that you've used on all your sites and make them stronger. You can also scroll down a bit, and then here's the detailed stats about it. So duplicates, compromised, weak, old, and blank. You can click all, and then from here, when you click this little box, you can say change selected passwords with one click. When you click that, you're then going to do change password. So LastPass will now attempt to change your password to a strong generated password that will be saved in your vault and known only to you. So it'll do this automatically for you. I'm gonna say no thanks. Go back to that window. Oh, never mind, it just goes blank. But you can auto change an individual site. You can then launch from here as well. But this is a nice little feature that they offer to help you improve your security posture. You just close that. And that's about everything. When you're in here, you can start adding your favorite websites and you can play around with it. I hope that helps. This is how to use LastPass password management service. That is everything to do with LastPass, free. If you have any questions about this tutorial or doesn't seem to flow for you or work for you, please let me know in the comments below. If you found this video useful, please give it a like and don't forget to subscribe for future security videos. Thanks and take care.